have to do about the topic human heart. Okay, bete, you can see in your book human heart. Okay, first of all, I have given the introduction about human heart in my previous lecture. That heart is a muscular organ responsible for pumping blood through the blood vessels by repeated contractions. Okay, so heart is an organ inside our body which gives blood to all organs inside our body by repeatedly contraction movements. Okay, so question is there, what is the meaning of cardiac? So answer is very simple. The term cardiac means related to the heart. Walls of heart chambers are made of cardiac muscles. Okay, the term cardiac means related to the heart. So walls of heart chambers are made of cardiac muscles. So when we talk about the So, beta, you can see when we talk about the heart, so what do we say? That the heart is made by cardiac muscles. Okay. So the term cardiac means related to the heart. Walls of heart chambers are made of cardiac muscles. Now, what is the location of heart in the body? So in the human body, the heart is situated between the lungs in the middle of the chest cavity, which is called thorax, under the breastbone. Okay, so I am telling you again, what is the location of the heart in the body? In the human body, the heart is situated between the lungs in the middle of the chest cavity, thorax, under the breastbone. Now there is another term which is shown in your topic, that is pericardium and pericardial fluid. So what are these? These all parts are very important as a short questions for your board exam. So you have to underline in your book what is pericardium and pericardial fluid. The heart is enclosed in a sac known as pericardium. So the heart is enclosed in a sac. That sac is called pericardium, and there is the fluid known as pericardial fluid. Okay, and under this sac there is a fluid is present. That fluid is called pericardium. So the heart is present in pericardial fluid between the pericardium and the heart walls. Now next is that functions of pericardial fluid. So what are the functions of pericardial fluids? What did they do? Okay. So, bete, now you will see uh, what is the how many chambers of heart, how many chambers of the human heart are. Heart consists of four chambers. First is called right and left atria. Second is called right and left ventricle. So, Betty, you can see uh, there are four chambers of heart. Okay, the human heart consists of four chambers. First is called right and left atria, and the second is called right and left ventricle. So, what is right and left atria? The upper thin walled chambers are called left and right atria. Okay, the upper chambers of the heart are called atria, and the lower chambers of the heart are called ventricles. I have told you human heart consists of four chambers. The upper chambers are called atria, and the lower chambers are called ventricles. So the upper thin walled chambers. Okay, underlining these, they are thin walled. So the upper thin walled chambers are called the left and right atrium. The lower thick walled chambers are called the left and right ventricles. The left ventricle is the largest and strongest chamber in the heart. Underline in your book. This line is important for your MCQs. The left ventricle is the largest and the strongest chamber of the heart. So, beta, you can see right and left ventricle. The lower thick wall chamber are called left and right ventricles. The left ventricle is the largest and the strongest chamber in the heart. Okay, I hope you understand it. Now, what is the working of heart as a double pump? Okay, there is a term is given in your topic which is called double pump. So, what is a double pump? The lower thick walled chambers. Okay, so how heart work as a double pump? So it works as a double pump. It receives deoxygenated blood means which has less oxygen inside it. So it receives deoxygenated blood from body and pumps it to and pumps it to lungs. At the same time, it receives oxygenated, means with more oxygen blood from lungs and pumps it to the whole body. I have told you the movement of the heart always is working as a contraction and relaxation. So when it contracts, it pumps blood to all parts of the body. Okay, and that is oxygenated blood. And when it is relaxed, actually it gets deoxygenated blood from the lungs. Okay, so at a time, the heart is working as a double pump. In the one side, it is pumping blood to all organs of the body, which is oxygenated blood, and the other side, at the same time, it is getting deoxygenated blood. So we can say our heart work as a double pump. Now we will discuss the circulation of blood, means double pump mechanism, that how this double pump mechanism work. Okay, so first point is the circulation of deoxygenated blood. We all of know that we have oxygenated blood inside our body, and on our red blood cell there is a chemical which is called hemoglobin. It is responsible to produce oxygen on red blood cells, and when these red blood cells move each and every organ of our body, so they give oxygen to them. But now question is that how circulation of deoxygenated blood is happen inside the body, from where this deoxygenated blood comes to the body. So you can see right atria receives deoxygenated blood from the body via the main veins. I have told you that when our digestion is happen inside the body and ultimately it is ended in the walls of small intestine in villi. So when it absorbs in the bloodstream, so this blood goes goes towards our liver and then goes to our lungs. So that blood is deoxygenated because it has less oxygen inside it. So from lungs, this blood, right atria, I have told you the upper chambers of the heart is called atrium. Okay, so first the blood enters into right atrium. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body via the main veins, and the name of these veins is superior and inferior vena cava. Okay, so the names of these veins is superior and inferior vena cava. When right atrium contracts, it passes the deoxygenated blood to right ventricle. So first So first of all, uh, the mechanism I'm telling you again. First, the blood comes in right atrium from the bloodstream by the special veins which are called superior and inferior vena cava. So first, this deoxygenated blood enters into right atrium. When right atrium contracts, this blood passes to the right ventricle. When right ventricle contracts, so what is happened? Then this blood is passed to pulmonary trunk, which carries blood to the lungs. So again, this deoxygenated blood goes to the lung. So why it goes to the lung? Because when we inhale air inside our body, so at that time the oxygen dissolve in the lungs, and because of that the blood which is deoxygenated, it gets oxygen from the air. Now the second part is tricuspid valve. Okay, tri means three, tricuspid valve. The opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle is guarded by a valve because it has three flaps. If you see the diagram, the opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Atrium is the upper part of the heart and ventricle is the lower part of the heart. So the opening between the right atrium and the right ventricle is called is guarded by a valve which has three flaps. So because of that, it is called tricuspid valve. Its function is that it prevents the backflow of blood from right ventricle to the right atrium. Once the blood enters from, so what is means these three flaps are closed. So the function of these trachea wall is that they stop to the blood, they stop the backflow of blood from right ventricle to the right atrium. Now next is the pulmonary semilunar valve. What are these? First of all, I will tell you the location of pulmonary semilunar valves at the base of the pulmonary trunk. Above paragraph we had discussed, once the blood enters, first the blood enters into right atrium, then it goes into right ventricle, and from right ventricle it comes into pulmonary trunk, and this pulmonary trunk carries the blood towards the lungs. So in between there are pulmonary semilunar valves are present. So at the base of the pulmonary trunk, pulmonary semilunar valve is present. Now we will discuss the function of a pulmonary semilunar valve. Its function is that it prevents the backflow of blood from pulmonary trunk to right ventricle. So it done same function, which function is done by tricuspid valve. Their function was that they prevent the backflow of blood from right ventricle to the right atrium. So pulmonary semilunar valves prevents backflow of blood from pulmonary trunk to right ventricle. Okay, so once the blood comes from right ventricle to pulmonary trunk, so these pulmonary semilunar valves are closed and they stop the backflow of blood for pulmonary trunk to right ventricle. This was the procedure of deoxygenated blood, how it does work in the body. Now we will discuss the circulation of oxygen blood, how oxygenated blood, how does it work in the body. So the oxygenated blood from the lung is brought by pulmonary veins to left atrium. Now keep in your mind, the oxygenated blood from the lungs is brought by pulmonary veins to left atrium. So keep in your mind, deoxygenated comes to the heart in right atrium. Oxygenated blood comes to the heart in left atrium. The left atrium, now the procedure is same. The left atrium contracts and pumps this blood to left ventricle. And in previous page we have discussed The largest chamber of the heart is left ventricle. The left atrium contracts and pumps oxygenated blood to left ventricle. When the left ventricle contracts, it pumps the oxygenated blood in aorta. So when the left ventricle is contract, it pumps the oxygenated blood in aorta. And we all of know aorta is the main artery which started from the heart and goes and it has a passage to goes each and every part of the organ, and aorta further divided into blood vessels which are called arteries and veins. So each artery and vein goes each and every organ inside our body, and when they enter in our organ, further they are divided into small tubes, and these small tubes are called capillaries. So every organ in our body has a network of small tubes which are called capillaries. So from left ventricle the blood comes into aorta, which carries the blood to all parts of the body except lungs. So it carries the blood to all parts of the body except lungs. So question is that why it never take blood to the lungs? So answer is very simple. When food is digested, comes to our bloodstream, so this blood first goes into liver, and the function of liver is there to remove dead and metabolic waste from our body, and then from liver this blood sent to our lungs. So lungs are getting blood through special veins from which are present in our blood. Okay, so aorta send blood to all organs of inside body except lungs. Okay, so when oxygenated blood is working in our body, so at that time there is bicusp's wall. Bi means two. So bicusp's wall means the opening between the left atrium and the left ventricle. The opening between the left atrium and the left ventricle is guarded by a wall known as bicusp's wall because it has two flaps. In above paragraph, we had discussed when blood comes from right atrium to right ventricle. So it has tricuspid wall. But when blood comes from left atrium to left ventricle, so it is guarded by a bicuspid wall. Okay. So the bicuspid wall. So what is the function of it? It prevents the backflow of blood from the left ventricle to the left atrium. Now there is another um, aortic semilunar wall. We will discuss the location. At the base of aorta, the aortic semilunar wall is present. At the base of aorta, the aortic semilunar valve is present. So what is the function of this semilunar valve? It prevents the backflow of blood from aorta to the left ventricle. What is function is this? Its function is that it prevents the backflow of blood from aorta to the left ventricle. So till now we have discussed the parts of the heart and their functions. Okay. In next topic we will discuss about the pulmonary circulation and systematic circulation. Okay, it is also given in the heart. I explained you now what is pulmonary circulation and systematic circulation. In pulmonary circulation or circuit, the pathway on which deoxygenated blood is carried from the heart to the lungs, in the return oxygenated blood is carried from the lungs to the heart, is called pulmonary circulation circuit. In simple words, we can say the pathway on which the deoxygenated blood travels and convert into oxygenated blood. That whole path is called by pulmonary circulation or circuit. Now there is another systemic circulation or circuit. So what is systemic? The pathway on which oxygenated blood is carried from the heart to the body tissues. In return, deoxygenated blood is carried from the body tissues to the heart, is called systemic circulation or circulation. So this circulation is the opposite of the pulmonary circulation. So what is the difference between two? The pathway on which oxygenated blood is carried. Okay. In pulmonary circulation, when deoxygenated blood is uh, traveling, okay, the pathway on which oxygenated blood is carried, okay, when it oxygenated blood comes to the heart, goes to the body and then back to the lungs. So this whole pathway is called systemic circulation or circuit. So you have to underline, this question comes in board exam, differentiate between pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So I hope you understand the today's topic. We have discussed the parts of the heart and we discussed the pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. Inshallah, in my next class, I will make the diagram on the board and I will explain these parts you again. So after that, your next topic is about that cardiac cycle and heartbeat. This is very important. And then there is a pulse rate. Okay, how can we measure the pulse rate of our body? We will discuss these topics in our next lecture. Okay, so I hope you understand the today's topic. So you have to learn this topic with the help of your diagram which is given in your book. Inshallah, I hope you understand it. Now your lecture has been ended. Thank you so much.